Now there's an appeal for people to come forward and help pupils who are struggling in school. The voluntary Tutors organisation was formed in the 70s and provides learning support for young people, often in disadvantaged areas or who have additional support needs. Well, they say that since the pandemic, there's been a huge increase in demand and there are waiting lists to access their support. They're also ready to offer help to Ukrainian children who arrive here. Well, I've been hearing the experience of one pupil and her tutor, but first I spoke to Barbara Oliver from the VTO.
Back in March 2020, when the pandemic struck, all of our tutoring was face-to-face, and that had to stop with immediate effect. Now that was our home tuition programme, where adults support children on a one-to-one basis, but also all our learning hubs across the city as well, and we had 23 of them supporting 230 children across the city.
And these are what, children that you've picked up as have sort of become disengaged with the education system?
A lot of them have. A lot of them are disengaged. Some have barriers to learning, certain difficulties such as ADHD, autism, dyslexia. Some have experienced trauma in their lives as well. So, but yeah, some of them are disengaged, and others have just simply fallen behind and are just not on track with their education.
So you've seen, what, a big increase in demand during the pandemic. I suppose it's quite obvious why a lot of children have become more disengaged throughout that.
No, absolutely, because well, they weren't attending school, and a lot of them took quite a long time to kind of engage with the online learning that schools were offering, and actually weren't offering right away. That was something that was a bit of a slow build. A lot of them struggled with the technology in terms of engaging with schools as well. That was part of it. And then there was the whole anxiety part of the barrier to learning as well. Not being able to meet face to face with their peer groups, their friends, and obviously in school with their teachers as well. So that kind of added to the whole issue.
So also here is Arianna. Arianna, you've benefited from this tutoring system. Just tell us what was going on with you and how it's helped you.
I think because of when the pandemic hit and when everything was online, it declined my education. And with this, it helped me get back on track.
Has it given you a lot more confidence in the classroom?
Yeah, I think it's helped me get back on track with all the education I lost because it was difficult online.
And you've been, we'll speak to Melissa, your tutor, in a moment, but you've had to do all of this online, haven't you? And this actually, in this room today, is the first time you've actually met Melissa.
Yeah, because we're being so used to doing it on Zoom.
And so what has Melissa been helping you with?
Maths, English and history, mainly.
And how's that going now?
It's helped a lot with me, so it has.
Are you doing better in the exams?
I think it has. It helps me with the exams and prelims.
You're going to stay on at school and do more exams next year?
Yes.
And is Melissa going to be part of that again?
I hope so.
And during the pandemic, you mentioned it was difficult. Is that because you weren't seeing friends as much, or?
I think because it was online, it was harder to learn properly. And if it's like online and in real life, it kind of helps.
What, you don't get as much individual attention, or you can't ask the teacher things as easily?
Yeah, and because it's just one person, it's easier to ask questions.
So, Melissa, turning to you, how did you get involved in all of this?
So I wanted to go into a career in teaching, and I was scrolling through the Volunteer Glasgow webpage and I came across VTO, the volunteer tutoring, and I thought, well, this is right up my street. This is something I want to do. I've worked with young people for quite a while, and I thought this is a fantastic opportunity to make a little bit of a difference, and it's hugely rewarding for me as well.
So how many hours a week do you do?
So I tutor 2 pupils, so I do 2 hours a week with Arianna and 1 hour a week with another boy, and then put a few hours into planning lessons and stuff for them as well.
How's it all going online then?
It's going well. It took a bit of adapting to. The Zoom is working really well for that format. We've been doing PowerPoints, it's been very interactive, and we've found new ways of going about learning that have been really useful, and really useful for me as well going forward to learn those skills.
And Arianna, I think, has been quite modest about how well she's doing.
She absolutely has. She comes to every session trying her best, trying 100%. She always comes prepared. I'm so proud of her with what she's doing. She's improving in maths. She's sitting her National 5 history exam soon, and she's working really hard at it, and she does need to, that's something we've been working on, her confidence, giving herself more credit and believing in herself a wee bit more.
So you've seen an actual huge difference in her academic ability then?
I've seen a difference in her ability and her confidence overall. Every session she comes more chatty, and she tries her best at everything. Every time it's, let me try a more difficult question, let me try it again, make sure I've got it right. And it's something I always say to her, getting a young person to do that is amazing.
And where is all this heading for you?
So I've got into postgrad for teaching. So next year I'm going to be going to university to become a history teacher. So Arianna's giving me some absolutely incredible practice, the best preparation I could hope for. So that's my plan going forward.
But you're going to stay in contact, you're going to keep this up?
Absolutely, that's my plan. I want to just see Arianna achieve in as much as I possibly can.
Heather, you're Arianna's guardian, her aunt. You've seen a big difference.
I have, and a great improvement, all down to the help of Mr Thompson in the school, Melissa, and there was a lady before doing the tutoring who's opened her right up.
What kind of a difference are you seeing in her?
Confidence. Yeah, confidence. I'm really proud of her, I really am, and I'm proud of the people that are helping her. Not just me, it's taking a weight off my shoulders, because I work and I can't give Arianna the tutoring that she needs, so this is marvellous, honestly.
So Barbara, you've got a lot of challenges going forward. You're trying to meet demand. Are you trying to take on new people, train people up?
Well, yes, we've got, I mean, unfortunately, we've got a waiting list of young people that require the support because, we've talked about the pandemic and, the impact that that's had on young people with their education and emotionally and socially. But it's continue, even though they're all back at school, it's actually still a challenge for young people to catch up and get back to the point where they were before. So we do have a waiting list of over 100 young people that are looking for tutors.
So you want more tutors?
Absolutely, yep. We can't do it. We're volunteer led, and we can't deliver our service without volunteers. So absolutely.
And there's also the possibility somewhere down the line of trying to help some Ukrainian refugees as well.
No, absolutely. I mean, everybody knows about the group of young Ukrainian children that have arrived in Scotland. We don't know exactly where they are going to be settled, but if some of them come to Glasgow, then we absolutely want to be there and to offer that educational support with our wonderful volunteer base. So yeah, absolutely.
That was Barbara Oliver from the Volunteer Tutors organisation, and before that we heard from pupil Arianna, her aunt Heather, and Melissa, her tutor. And you can find out more about all of that on the VTO's website.